Boys and girls, welcome back to our study of the geography of the Americas. We are ready to move on to chapter 3 in our student reader. And as you read, you're going to listen and follow along very closely and answer some questions along the way. So chapter 3 is Mexico. So we're going to learn a little bit about Mexico, which is our neighbor to the south. Mexico is on the southern border of the United States. Mexico has the world's largest population of Spanish speakers. There are 31 states in Mexico. Most people live in central Mexico. The northern part of Mexico is drier than the south. Because it is dry in the north, farmers use irrigation to bring water to their crops. And the caption down at the bottom says, "Lots of cacti and yuccas grow in the northern parts of Mexico." Boys and girls, cacti are plants that have sharp spines instead of leaves, like the short plants that you see in the picture at the bottom of page 14. Cacti grow in warm, dry areas. And cacti is actually the plural, meaning more than one, form of the word cactus, which I bet a lot of you have heard before. And yuccas are the plants that have long, pointed, sword-shaped leaves. And they are also, you can see those also in that picture at the bottom of page 14. They produce large white flowers. And those flowers and the plant's fruit and seeds can all be eaten. Let's move on. 500 years ago, much of Mexico was ruled by the Aztec and their emperor, Moctezuma II. If Moctezuma were still alive today, he might not recognize Mexico. Many things have changed since Moctezuma was in charge. His capital, Tenochtitlan, was the biggest city in the Americas, with thousands of people living there. In 1519, Spanish soldiers led by Hernán Cortés conquered Moctezuma and destroyed his city. On top of the ruined city, the Spanish built an even bigger one. They called it Mexico City. Mexico City doesn't look much like Moctezuma's capital city, but some of the ruins of the Aztec city do remain. Mexico City is the capital of Mexico today. The Spanish colonized not only Mexico, but much of Central and South America. This is why Spanish is spoken in this part of the world. Boys and girls, where they talk about ruins, it's what's left of a place after a long time or after it is destroyed. And the word colonized, where they talk about the Spanish colonizing Mexico, means that people took over a place and sent people from their own country to live there. So they kind of took it over and started living there. Central America is the land between Mexico and South America, and we'll learn more about that in the next chapter. Would Moctezuma recognize anything if he traveled beyond Mexico City and through the land he once ruled over? Well, he would recognize the landscape, as much of the land is plateau surrounded by mountains. He would also recognize the corn, called maize, and the beans, squash, and fruits that grow in the rich soil. This soil is mixed with the ash that comes from Mexico's ancient volcanoes. When we talk about landscape, that's talking about the features or appearance of the area of land. And a plateau, here we go, talk about a plateau. That's a high, flat area of land. And we see here that maize is another word for corn. What would Moctezuma think of the Mexican factories that make cars, machinery, metals, clothing, and other goods? Mexico is also a major producer of oil that is sold and transported all over the world. Moctezuma wouldn't recognize these things, but he would be happy that Mexico is a strong and successful country. When we talk about producer, it means that they make it. They make that. So they produce a lot of oil. So boys and girls, think about, what do you think some of the important geographical features, land areas, what are some of those important areas in Mexico? Thanks for listening.